3rd down and 4. Got it back, looks, hit, knocked the ball free on the ground. The ball is free. The Lions say they've got it at the bottom of the pile, and they do, inside the 10-yard line. They've got it back. Here they come.
Turkey season's open.
Mom! Mom! Boom!
But
Oh.
Hey Roy, Coach Campbell here. Hey, I'm over here checking out the 2021 schedule, and I noticed we got the Vikings up next. You know, you might want to give your buddy Victor the Viking a heads up that we're coming, and he better watch out for those caps between his ankles and his thighs.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! TJ Hawkinson, they did it!
How's it going, everybody? It's C-RadTV. So, of course, it's that time of year. It's time for the schedule predictions. The 2021 schedule has come out, and I've looked at it, and oh, fuck me. This schedule is so brutal in so many ways, but repping the Lions, gonna do these schedule predictions, so let's go through it. And quick disclaimer before we start the schedule predictions. Don't take my prediction for it too serious, because the Lions are gonna be really bad this year. Because at the end of the day, schedule predictions don't mean jack shit until we see the actual product on the field. So, we won't know what this team truly is till training camp or even maybe preseason. And the Lions do have 3 preseason games, and really those preseason games don't really mean anything, so we're not going to talk about them. Those games are pretty much more just test and tune sessions, and more also like player evaluation too, to see who makes the 53-man roster and who gets sent straight to elimination station. So anyway, and also the last couple years with the Lions, I predicted the Lions to win at least 10 games the last 2 years. And both times, it has been a complete... Actually, the last 3 years, too. 3 years. In all 3 years, it has been a complete disaster. So this year, I'm doing things a little differently. I think I got a better one than before. So, let's go ahead. And I think we've rambled on enough. Let's talk about the schedule. So, let's get started. So, Week 1. At home to San Francisco. I got that game as a loss. So I have the Lions starting the year off with the L. I think the 49ers are a lot better than their record says last year. I'm not sure. I believe I could see Trey Lance starting that game, Week 1. And I believe, the 49ers, they were only 6-10 last year because they had an ass-loaded goddamn injury. So I honestly gave them a pass last year. I think Trey Lance is going to be the QB that can get him over that hump. And that defense, that's nothing to fuck with. I think that defense is still going to be good despite losing Robert Saleh. So, I got that game as a loss. And also, Jared Goff has historically struggled against the 49ers. So, loss there. Week 2 in Green Bay on Monday Night Football. Whoa, wait. Wait, this game's a primetime game? Wait a minute. So tell me all the Lions had to do to get back on national... Sorry about that. So tell me all the Lions had to do to get back on national television was just fire Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn? Damn, I wish life was that simple. But yeah, Week 2 in Green Bay. Now, the games against the Packers, it all depends on if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback or not. Because of the drama in Green Bay right now, and Aaron wants out, or Aaron retires, or whatnot. My honest prediction, I think the Packers are going to keep Rodgers, and they're going to fire the GM. I think the Packers are going to do everything in their power to keep Rodgers. Plus, if they get rid of Rodgers this year, I believe it's like a $30 million dead cap hit in dead cap. So, I don't think the Packers want to take that kind of dead cap this year. But also, I feel like the Packers are going to do everything to make Rodgers happy. I mean, if Rodgers leaves the North or retires, this changes it. It changes everything. But I'm gonna say Rodgers plays this game. It's still going to be on the Packers to open the year. And I have the Lions losing to the Packers on Monday Night Football. I got that as a loss, so I got the Lions at 0-2 right now. And my prediction for Green Bay is I think Green Bay will still win the NFC North. Despite all the drama. I think Green Bay still bullshits their way to the North title. But if Green Bay doesn't win, if Rodgers is gone, then that changes my pick for the NFC North. Week 3 at home to Baltimore. Oh, fuck, the Lions are going to get killed by the Ravens. Because of Lamar running back Jackson. So, I got that as a loss. The Lions have always struggled against the Ravens. They have always struggled against Baltimore, so I got that as a loss. So I got the Lions at 0-3. And at that point in the year, the season's pretty much over. Because once you start the year 0-3, your season's effectively over. Because since 1981, only 5 teams in NFL history have started the year 0-3 and went on to make the playoffs. So let's continue on. Week 4 in Chicago for War Week. I got the game in Chicago as a loss. I think with the Lions split the Bears this year, I mean, I don't know. I think a split for sure. Sweeping the Bears, I think that's 50-50. I imagine the Bears are gonna have Andy Dalton start the year. Like, let's be real. The Bears making the playoffs last year was the worst thing to happen in their franchise, but the best thing for the rest of the North, so we get to watch the Bears struggle and be exposed. And all I say to Bears is, you better hope Justin Fields is the one to break the Ohio State QB curse. Considering you gave up a first-round pick next year for him. And there's a good chance that pick could be a lottery could be a top 10 pick. So you better hope Justin Fields is the one. I honestly feel like Fields is going to flop like every other QB that's come out of Ohio State. And I swear, QBs that come out of Ohio State are like communism. Oh, their previous failures weren't a real quarterback, but this time, it's gonna work, we swear it. I'll believe it when I see it with my own eyes. So week 4 in Chicago, that's a 50-50 game. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say loss. So I got the Lions at 0-4 right now. Week 5 in Minnesota, I got that game against the Vikings as a loss. Vikings have just been outright owned the Lions as of late. They have that, I think it's like, what, a 7-game winning streak or some shit? I think the streak goes to 8 straight wins. So I got the Lions losing that game and going 0-5. And for the Vikings this year, I think the Vikings are going to make the playoffs on wild card. Because, hear me out, I've been looking at the Vikings record since 2014. I'm starting to sense a pattern with it. Because it seems with this pattern that on even number of years, the Vikings are fucking mediocre and don't come close to the playoffs. But on odd number of years, the Vikings win at least have 10 or more wins and always make it in, whether it be off the division title or on wild card. I'll say this. So I think the Vikings are going to probably win double digits. I think Vikings win at least 11 or more games. And I got the Vikings making it in on wild card. But if Aaron Rodgers leaves the division, then I have the Vikings winning the North. So yeah, based on the cycle, since this year's an odd number year, I got the Vikings making it in. So, next game, week 6, we get a Tank Bowl game against Cincinnati at home. I got that as a win, so I have the Lions finally getting a win this year. Getting that win, so I have the Lions now at 1-5. I'm going to be honest here, I think the Bengals are going to learn that passing on Penei Sewell was a massive mistake. Don't get me wrong, Jamar Chase is a talented receiver, but I think O-line was a bigger need at 5, considering that Joe Burrow was coming off a major knee injury where he tore his entire knee to shit last year. And I think, yeah, that mistake's going to come back to haunt the Bengals. And also Zach Taylor, the head coach for the Bengals, is on a hot seat year. Get a good chance that if the Bengals don't make any progress this year, that Zach Taylor will be fired. Week 7, this is going to be the big one here. In Los Angeles to take on the Rams at SoFi. A lot to keep an eye on this game. For this game, it's Brad Holmes' first game against his old team. And for Jared Goff and Michael Brockers, this is also not only their first games against their old team, but it's also their first games in LA since being traded. And also the big one on the other side of the field of that is that this will be Matt Stafford's first game against his old team. And keep in mind, the Lions are the only team that Stafford has not thrown a touchdown pass against in his career. The game against the Rams, the Lions are going to get fucking killed by Stafford. Stafford's going to fuck the Lions in and out. So I got that as a loss, and I have the Lions at 1-6. And I'd say to all the Stafford haters in the fan base, like Man Beast Morris and all them, you should all have this game as an automatic win. If Stafford is the bum you all truly say he is. I mean, anyone that said that Stafford was the problem, you should have this game as a win for the Lions. And all I say to Stafford haters is, you all better pray to God the Lions win this game. If they don't, then I'm going to find every last one of you and I'm going to air yous out on air. So I say to Stafford haters is, you better hope the Lions beat the Rams in week 7. Or else. Anyway, continuing on. Next up, week 8 against Philadelphia. That's going to be a fucking tank bowl and a half because it's going to be a battle of two trash teams contending for the first overall pick. I got that game against the Eagles as a win. So I have the Lions at 2-6 now. Like, I think the Eagles are so fucked this year, it's not even funny. Like, they're deep in cap help. That roster is complete shit. And I think we're going to clearly see that the problems in Philadelphia were way beyond Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. Like Nick Sirianni was only hired to be a yes man because Howie Roseman is getting complete control of the whole roster. Which I think keeping Howie Roseman was a big mistake. Considering that the entire thing last year with the Eagles was Wentz versus Peterson, and now both are gone. I mean, hey, getting rid of both is one way to solve a problem. Plus, I think Philadelphia needs to have some karma paid since EDP445 was just recently exposed for being a pedophile. And don't worry, we're gonna get to that real soon. Mainly after this video's done, EDP's all mine for the rest of the offseason, because I got a few months before this season starts. So anyway, got the win, 2-6 for the Lions now. Week 9, bye week. So the Lions finally get a mid-season bye week for the first time since, like, what, fucking 2016? Well, so, all the Lions had to do to get a bye week was just, in the mid-season, was just fire Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia? Damn, I wish life was that simple again. Continuing on, Week 10 in Pittsburgh. I got that game against the Steelers as a win. And before anyone crucifies me for it, hear me out. Here's the multiple reasons why I have the Lions beating the Steelers Week 10. Reason 1. Every single year, there's always that one game the Lions should not even come remotely close to winning, and yet they always find a way to win. And on paper, the Steelers should easily decimate the Lions. But reason number 2 I have the Lions beating the Steelers is because Pittsburgh has a knack of always playing down to inferior competition and making a lot of their games more competitive than it should be. And it's been a theme the last few years, especially last year. And 3, I think Big Ben is not getting any younger, and I think he's going to massively digress this year. And I think the Steelers mainly ignored their biggest need on offensive line. You know, with Pouncey retiring and all that, they didn't really get an alignment until the 3rd round. Like, I think the Steelers' first 2 picks of Pat Freiermuth and Najee Harris, they're just going all in because this might be Big Ben's last year. But I think this year we're going to see the problems were clearly well beyond Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh. So I got that game as a win. So I have the Lions at 3-6. I think the game against the Steelers, I think that's going to be the game the Lions are supposed to lose, but they're going to find a way to win. So I got the Lions beating Pittsburgh. Week 11 in Cleveland. Now, this one's a 50-50 game. It could go either way. I got this game as a loss. I know the Lions have had Cleveland's number for a while, but I feel like Cleveland's going to get the Lions in this one. I think the rivalry's going to turn in Cleveland's favor now. So I think Cleveland finally beats the Lions. I mean, it's an interesting rivalry. I mean, every year when the Lions and Browns play, the Browns fans label the game against the Lions as an automatic win, and Lions fans label this game as an automatic win for Detroit. You know, for each of their sides. This one, I'm going to be the Lions fan that doesn't label this game as an automatic win for Detroit. I'm going to say a loss, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm going to say loss, so 3-7. Now it's the record here. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions find a way to pull this one out, considering Cleveland's history of playing down to inferior competition, too. I mean, it happened last year when they lost to the fucking Jets with a playoff spot on the line. So, it could happen, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say loss, so 3-7 there. Week 12 at home to Chicago on Thanksgiving. I got that game as a win. No, the Lions have lost 4 straight on Thanksgiving. I think the Lions finally end the streak. I think the Lions finally win on Thanksgiving and they beat the Bears. So there's the split right there. So I got the Lions at 4-7. Week 13 at home to Minnesota. I got that as a loss. So I had the Vikings sweeping the Lions for another year in a row. I think it's the fucking 4th year in a row the Vikings sweep the Lions. So I got that at 4-8. Week 14 in Denver. This is the 17th game that, under the old schedule format, the Lions would not play the Broncos. Week 14 in Denver. That's going to be a cold weather game, and the Lions always struggle in cold weather, so I got that game as a loss. Like, it won't matter if the QB's Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater or hell, even Aaron Rodgers, if the Broncos get Rodgers. But I think it's going to be a loss regardless. I think the Broncos are a lot better than their record is. The only thing holding them back is Drew Lock. I think the issue is Drew Lock in Denver. So I got that game against the Broncos as a loss. So 4-9. Week 15 at home to Arizona. I think the Cardinals finally get the Lions here. I'm going to say loss to the Cardinals, so I got the Lions now at 4-10. I know the Lions have got the Cardinals number the last little bit, but if this was earlier in the year, I would probably list this game as a win. But it's going to be later in the year, and I think the Cardinals have everything figured out. I got that game as a loss. And you know, with the Cardinals roster this year, I think the Cardinals are either a boom or bust team. I think this season really decides what the Cardinals truly are for the upcoming future. Now, continuing on, Week 16 in Atlanta, another Tank Bowl against the Falcons. I got that game as a win. Like, the Falcons really didn't do much to address their main issues at all. All they did was really get Kyle Pitts, who's pretty much going to replace Julio Jones, since Julio's probably going to be traded at some point this year. And Matt Ryan's not getting any younger. And I think the Falcons, as when they get rid of Julio and Matt Ryan, they'll be looking to finally rebuild. So, I'm going to say that's a win for the Lions. So, I got the Lions at 5-10. Week 17 in Seattle. Fuck me. Not only is Seattle a very tough place to play in, that stadium very hard to play in, but it's also a cold weather game. And like I said, the Lions struggle in cold weather, so the game in Seattle, I have that as a loss. I mean, it's already tough to play in Seattle with how loud that stadium is. But it gets even tougher when it's a cold weather game, so loss there. And then Week 18, end the season at home against Green Bay. That's a loss. Green Bay sweeps Detroit for like the fucking third year in a row. So loss there. I have the Lions ending the season 5-12. So for once, I don't have the Lions winning 10 games. I have them only winning 5. Half of what I said last year. Like I said all offseason, I think the Lions are going to be the same record that they were last year. But effectively, 5 wins now is the new 4 wins. But without the Denver game, the Lions would be 5. I would have the Lions going 5-11. But yeah, 5-12, and that's me being real. But don't take the schedule prediction too seriously, because I've been badly wrong on it so many years in a row. So there's a good chance I could be badly wrong again. Or maybe this is the one time where I'm actually on point. But you know, I always call it how I see it. And I see the Lions as a 5-win team. Because there's so many question marks with this team, especially if Jared Goff could be the guy or not, or if he's a bridge QB. You know, the receiving core is going to be pretty trash. I mean, the only options Jared Goff has to throw to are St. Brown, Cephas, and Hawkinson, and maybe Swift. I do think the Lions will have a good running game, but that's not going to be enough, and too many question marks on the defense. Since last year's defense was one of the worst defenses I've seen in my life. But I think with so many question marks on this team, I think having the Lions at 5 wins is the safest bet in the world. So I'm going to go 5 wins. So I got the Lions 5-12. I think they're going to they're like, despite having a good draft though, I think they're still going to be bad this year. But if the Lions do everything right though in this rebuild, and don't take any shortcuts and do everything right the first time, and do it correctly, there's a good chance they could be winning for a long time. And I do think the Lions are going to contend for the first overall pick this year with Philadelphia and Houston. And oh, by the way, for the first overall pick this year, this is a draft where there isn't a clear-cut number 1 overall pick. It's like a toss-up between 3 guys. Like, there's that edge rusher out of Oregon, Khalil. I forget his last name, but it's a tongue-twister last name. But I'm talking about the edge rusher out of Oregon. There's also Sam Howell, the QB out of North Carolina. And then there's Spencer Rattler, the QB out of Oklahoma. I would rather take Spencer Rattler at pick 1. So, the QB out of Oklahoma. So yeah. This is the one year where there isn't a clear-cut number 1 overall pick in the draft for this year's Tank Bowl. It could be one of 3 players. And knowing my luck, the Lions would probably win the first overall pick in a year where there isn't a number 1 overall Or isn't a clear-cut number 1 overall pick. But anyway, 5-12. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hail to Outsiders and hail to Great Detroit Masterplan. Peace, and now watch me be badly wrong at this one once again, because that's my luck.